Happy Friday. So you're giving a talk also to the Oklahoma Astronomical Society? Is that what it's called?
Yep, Oklahoma City Astronomical Society.
Of America?
Yeah, probably.
America, yeah. Yep, cool.
Seven o'clock.
How big is that club? Do you know anything about it? Or
I think they have 100 members, something like that.
Pretty good sized club.
Decent size.
Yeah.
They have 50 to 70. I think will come into their meetings.
Well, that's a pretty high percentage of participation.
Yeah. We talked about this. Has been like 2 months ago since when we talked about it, but we've been talking about new products and things like that. Talking about the
Cool.
basically the state of what we have or don't have.
Right.
We talk about the pop-up tent, stuff like that.
Sure. Here, we'll share this with the Sacramento Valley Astronomical Society. I don't know if Oklahoma City has a group. Let's see. They do not.
Watching this animation at the background it's really astounding how small.
I know. This is galaxy after galaxy after galaxy.
Yeah.
After listening to Dave Eicher talk about distance scale of the universe and how many galaxies there are, and then, with Chuck from the Astronomical Society talking about, basically the wall, where, light can't even escape. It's posited that, that there are galaxies out there, but their light, they're going faster than the speed of light as they're receding from us. So we can't
see them.
Or near the same something. I mean, it's just, and it's so hard to wrap your mind around. It's crazy,
Because they've accelerated nearly the speed of light.
Right. So just how big is the universe, so crazy to think about.
And yet it's just a fish tank like in our showroom.
A really big fish tank.
But for the fish.
Yeah.
But for the people whose living room the fish tank's in, it's not that big of a place.
ESA astronaut Thomas Pesquet from France is about to begin his second long-duration stay on board the ISS. His mission is named Alpha, after Alpha Centauri, the closest star system to Earth. Since Thomas' first mission, which ended in the summer of 2017, 3 more ESA astronauts have lived and worked in orbit. His upcoming mission will continue Europe's ongoing habitation of the ISS, but with some radical new developments.
Yeah, that looks more
changed
like
a little bit, but not so much. the science experiments, there's some new ones, and also the same ones that I performed last time are still ongoing because you need more data. So I won't be too surprised. But there's also some big differences. One big difference is obviously how to get there. And I flew with the Russian Soyuz from Baikonur, Kazakhstan, the last time. This time I'm going to launch from Florida, which is completely new for us since the space shuttle retired 10 years ago. So different training, different vehicle. It's like when you're a pilot and you change plane, you change to a completely different plane. You have to relearn everything.
Thomas will travel to the ISS with 3 other astronauts on board the commercial spacecraft SpaceX Crew Dragon. This will be its second operational flight, lifting off from Cape Canaveral on board a Falcon 9 launcher. He'll be the first European to launch from the USA since 2011, when Roberto Vittori from Italy flew on board Space Shuttle Endeavour to deliver ESA's alpha magnetic spectrometer. Despite his previous experience in orbit, Thomas has had to undergo a long and intense training program for the Alpha mission. Preparations for this flight have been particularly challenging as they've coincided with restrictions caused by the global COVID-19 pandemic.
We really try to lower the risk. We've reduced our traveling quite a lot. So now everything that we can do remote, just like everybody, we do remote. Everything that's not mandatory, we cancel. And by doing this, we're in good shape to be on time for launch, which is pretty amazing. And I think everybody has done a very impressive job in spite of the pandemic, still pressing ahead and ticking all the boxes.
Once he's back on board the ISS, Thomas will spend much of his time on scientific research. During his last mission, he took part in over 200 experiments, setting a record for the number of hours spent on science in a week. ESA's Columbus laboratory has been considerably upgraded since his last stay, with faster access to experiments for researchers on Earth. He'll also be carrying out maintenance tasks as part of the station's crew, this time with the benefit of 6 months' experience in orbit.
The second time, it's a bit different. You know exactly what you need to know, what you don't need to know, how to do things. You have an idea. So I think I'm going to enjoy it more, because the first time I was always constantly trying to do work and do things, and I was never, ever idle on board the space station. This time, I'm going to try to take some time for myself and maybe make some good memories.
Thomas Pesquet's upcoming launch will see him pioneer a new phase in European spaceflight, and as the Alpha mission unfolds, continue ESA's role as an international partner in orbit.
Well, hello, everyone. Happy Friday. It's once again time for the FirstLight Chronicles show. This is Kent's 27th episode. But Kent was, actually, you were like on my first program, or our first program that we put together.
Yes, sir.
You've come a long way. I'm sure you've done at least 100, online type of programs. And you're doing one we were talking about it earlier, if you were listening to us. He's doing the Oklahoma Club tonight. And then later on tonight, we're going to be on the Astronomical League Live 4, which starts for us at 6 p.m. Central. Kent and I will be on together talking more about Universe Sampler coming up about 8 o'clock our time, so 9 o'clock Eastern. But it's an honor to be working with the Astronomical League, and we are concentrating on their Universe Sampler here in the FirstLight Chronicles show as well. So what do you got for them at this point?
Well, I'm sitting here cheating right now. I realized I put a star chart in.
Yeah.
And I realized it was set at 0000. So it was not anywhere close to what Northern Hemisphere is going to look like. It didn't show. It barely showed. It's basically set at the equator. And it was like, I was looking at it going, what's wrong with that? And so I've been sort of cheating, actually trying to get it put on a new one. I just got it put on. So let me go ahead and.
That's cool. So what section of the universe sampler are you working on right now?
So we're going to work on, if I can figure out how to get this set
And
up.
while you're doing that, I'm going to recognize people that are watching this right now. We've
Let me
got
get shared. Chapter 2 is what we're doing.
chapter 2. Okay.
It keeps, there we go.
We got Mick Whitaker watching, Cameron Gillis. Happy Friday, everyone from the Pacific Northwest. Jeff Wise looking for a YouTube link. We should be on YouTube. Book Davies, howdy, rainy day. James the astrophotographer, happy Friday. Harold Locke says happy Friday. Cameron Gillis says he loves galaxies. So do I. Jeff Wise was saying that SVAS is his club, and so I'm throwing down the gauntlet. We're challenging SVAS to come onto our show and talk about the club. And maybe Jeff will join us. We'll see. Book Davies, Mike Wiesner, who handles cable management on the International Space Station? Mike, I think they should send you up there to do that, because not just anybody can do cable management. You know that. Mick Whitaker says his day's almost over. And Deep Sky Dude, I like that handle. Howdy, y'all. And Dennis Wild is on, says hello, Scott. Hello back. Chris Larson, late as usual, but made it. What a week. It was a week. My arm is now starting to get sore because Scotty got a vaccine this morning. So I got the Moderna vaccine, the first one. So we'll see how I feel over the weekend. Gary Burrell says this is Gary Burlingame, also from the Pacific Northwest. Hello, everybody. Glad to have you on, Gary. So what's happening right now is that the vaccines are becoming, it seems like the whole thing is accelerating right now and becoming easier to get. If you're having a tough time getting it, what I did is I went to the Potawatomi. I want to give a big shout out for the Potawatomi Indian Nation. Okay. I drove to Oklahoma this morning, I went to a sports arena that they had rented, and they were giving out for free to anybody that wanted it. Okay. No appointment necessary. First come, first serve vaccines, which was just really awesome, so
to be fair, yeah, it's only a 20-minute drive to Oklahoma from here. So,
yeah, but where I was, it was a 3-hour drive. So.
But he took more than and this is test, Scott. Spell Potawatomi.
I think it is Potowami.
I don't know. I'm just curious. That's so.
Potawatomi. Wapami. Yeah.
I think there's like 16 nations in Oklahoma, some number like that, with the Cherokee Nation being the largest.
Choctaw, yeah.
Choctaw's a big one.
I have Cherokee heritage from my father's side and Choctaw heritage from and Choctaw and I think Fox heritage as well from my mother's side. So I'm basically, a mixed guy. So there you go.
Have you done 23andMe or anything?
I have. Oh man, that's very revealing.
Yeah.
It turns out that one of the things that was shocking to me is that they said that I had more Neanderthal. This says something about me. I have more Neanderthal DNA than like 80 or 90% of the people that have done 23andMe. So I have DNA that goes back over 80,000 years or something. So I knew something felt old in me,
Yeah. An old soul DNA.
An old soul, yeah, with a young mind.
All right. So
yep.
Am I sharing my screen right now? I think I am.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
Okay.
Looks very nice.
So just to throw this out there, This is used with permission of the Astronomical League. Shout out to the Astronomical League for letting us use their universe sampler.
Yeah.
And I need to put a link up here to where people can, on this PowerPoint, I'm going to keep using this format. I encourage everybody to go buy one. It's $10, and everybody can support $10 to help the Astronomical League have this really cool book. So
Yeah.
lesson 2, and these are simple lessons. They're very small, bite-sized pieces. And, the first couple lessons, you can spend a lot of time talking about it, with people who are just absolutely new. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here, but we'll go through it real quick. Cover of the universe sampler hasn't changed any at all in the 20 years I've been associated with the Astronomical League. Lesson 2 is how to find north in the sky. And, many people believe that, the North Star is the brightest star in the North sky. And that's not the case. It's the brightest star in the area, but that's still not saying a whole lot. So you have to find Polaris to find north. And how do you do it? Till you get far enough south, you can't see the Big Dipper. The Big Dipper here is circumpolar, meaning it's up every night. You can see it somewhere, unless it's hidden by trees. Farther north you go, the higher it gets in the sky.
Yes.
But if you can't see the Big Dipper, and the Big Dipper is very recognizable. It's some of the brightest stars in the sky. Even under pretty heavily light polluted skies, you can see the Big Dipper. So you find the handle, and here's the bowl that the water is in. And the way I always remember where the Little Dipper is, the water is always either going to pour out of the Big Dipper into the Little Dipper, or vice versa, whichever one's on top. But these two are called the guide stars, and they point. So it's a long journey, but you just keep going along that line, and pretty soon you come to a star that's not exactly in line, but that's it. If you can't see Polaris, then finding Cassiopeia, which looks like an M or a W, or a zigzag if it's like it's shown in this picture. Also a very recognizable constellation with some good bright stars in it. That there's no real good pointer. These two stars will point you up here, and then you have to come down to it.
Right.
But it's still there's not a whole lot of bright stuff up there. So it's the first star you're going to see. And in
How
fact,
about the misnomer that the North Star is the brightest star in the sky?
yeah, it's not. I mean, it's far from it. It's like what, the 100th brightest or something like that.
I don't know, but it's I will give it this, okay, in its region, and this a fairly wide expanse, not super wide, but if you held your hand out at arm's distance, at least that much of an area, it is the brightest star. Okay?
I'd almost say pushing maybe double that, holding it up. I mean, it's a big wide expanse. It's the brightest star up there, and we can see it here. Before it gets dark.
You can see it with all the street lights on.
Right,
okay?
right.
But it's still not the brightest star in the sky.
Right. So and that's what if you use north as the brightest star in the sky, you're going to be walking south, because that's Sirius, and you're going to go southeast or south or southwest. So I've had many people at Sidewalk Astronomy make that statement, and it's something to learn. So, and the reason we use the North Star Polaris is because right now it's really close to the North Pole, and it makes a tiny little circle around the actual real physical point of rotation. But because of precession, over time, Polaris is going to move away. And I can't remember, Vega was the last pole star, or going to be the next pole star, but it's not anything any of us need to worry about, nor our grandchildren, or it's like 10,000 years before we get another pole star. Once you know you're facing north, you can start, knowing what's going on. You can see the top of it, okay? So it talks about the different names as well of the stars. So once you find north, you now know that south is directly behind you because you're facing north. And because you're facing north, can you see my cursor?
Yeah, it's little
So-
tiny.
Okay, because you're facing north, you know south is behind you, and to your right is east, and to your left is west. Okay, so not a problem. Once you're facing north, you know where west and east and south are. And here's a goofy little trivia question. Scott, I think I've asked this before. When you're standing at the North Pole in the Arctic Ocean, which direction is east?
I'm sorry?
If you're standing at the North Pole, it's going straight through, come out the top of your head. Which direction is east?
Every direction.
No. Every direction is south. There's only
Well,
one
that's
way.
true. That's true.
Now,
Yeah.
now
Well,
if
it
you,
depends how you're pointing. If you're pointing straight out.
so if you take one step away from the pole and turn around, now east is to your right and west is to your
Yeah,
left.
you didn't say that though.
Well, but I said
If I'm
standing.
standing on the pole, which way is east?
Which way is east? No, there's no east.
yeah.
You just can't have an east. So,
Well,
but-
you could just hold your arm out like that, and east would eventually show up.
might show up. So, all right.
And so would west, by the way.
So on this over here, it talks about star charts, and this is something that blows people's minds because they will go to a star chart and they'll see that north is here, south is here, and typically if you're in the middle of this and facing north or south at your back, over here on the right hand side should be east, but it's west. And it's like, why is that? That's because this is designed to be held over your head so that effectively you rotate this. And this is what I was working on to rotate this when we started. I'm going to rotate this for the presentation next week. I'm going to rotate it. And so it shows how you hold it over your head, because if you hold this over your head, you're going to have to turn south. And if you turn south, now you're going to look in the south, and east is going to be in your left hand, and east is on the left side of this. So this is designed to be used over your head, looking at the sky. And so for me, I always rotate this because I want north at the bottom so I can hold it up over my head. And now east is east and west is west.
Mm-hmm.
So Big Dipper's right here. And as we can see, it's pointing. So the Little Dipper, which is very hard to see, is dumping its water into the Big Dipper this time of year.
By the way, Jeff points out that Polaris is the 50th brightest star in the sky.
Okay, I was off by a factor of
By half, yeah.
by half or double. So thank you for that. So and then you say, okay, well, I can't see it because I have trees or I live so far south. Well, Cassiopeia is opposite more or less. And as you can see, these pointer stars miss Polaris just a wee bit, but it's easy enough to find because this area right in here has no real stars, no bright stars. It's there. So, you know, I like this. This is a downloadable sky chart. It's skymaps.org, I think it is. And, you know, it has great information on what's going on, a good schedule of events. There's a piece on the back that I didn't include as well. So this
how long
is.
Have you, how long have you been referring back to this sky map? You've been using it for a while, Ken?
I've used it or the one on Heavens Above for, I know I've been using Heavens Above for 20, 25 years.
Yeah.
Sky charts, you know, this group, or Sky Maps, probably 15 years to 20 years, something like that. And they produce really good. They're pretty. In fact, when we have star parties, public star parties, we print off 50 or 75, if we think it's, or 100 of these things, and take them to give to people to take home. And we've sometimes printed the following month, so encourage them to go out and see how the sky changes as well. And these are designed to be used, as it says up here in the far right corner, early March, 9 p.m. and late March, 8 p.m. And that's because the sky rotates over the course of the month and it doesn't stay static. So we had a constellation of the month at our astronomy club meeting and Bill Murphy did the constellation of the month that he did was Leo, which is rising from the east in the evening, really well placed, got some nice M objects in it, a couple of other objects, and a nice little talk Bill gave. So our club does a constellation of the month, and people tend to do more of the zodiac signs. I said, I'm not sure who's going to do the constellation of the month next month. Virgo probably is going to be on the radar screen, but maybe they'll pick something that's really, low in the sky. Corvus, always reminds me of a goofed up home baseball plate. That's my baseball background coming out in me, I guess. So anyway, that's what I've got.
Now, another reference comes from the Explorer Alliance's Skies Up magazine, and I'll share my screen here if you want to.
I will stop.
Let me
there
switch
you go.
here. Here we go.
There you go.
And, so this is in the latest issue of Skies Up, and I'll put the link up there so you can go and see it. But this was created by none other than Will Tyrion. Will's probably the world's most famous celestial cartographer at this in our era. But he gives you a key to finding planets in here, and and also this is the winter sky region, but we are also giving you the spring sky, summer sky, and autumn sky, so you can see all of that. Skies Up is a free download, and it is available for you. You can here, I'll stick this link in there so you guys can read it, but it's got some great articles. It is a global astronomy magazine, and I think you'll find it to be a great read. Marcelo Souza, who is a cosmologist in Brazil, is the editor-in-chief of that magazine. He's a close friend, and so you're going to see articles from yours truly. You're going to see articles from astronomers from literally all over the world. So that makes it interesting. A great gallery of astrophotography. We're changing up the gallery a little bit, where people who submit images to the Explore Scientific and Explore Alliance astrophotography contest, they will be featured in the magazine, which is nice. And this is an article by Dr. Daniel Barth, who will be running his first show on Monday, and the program's called How Do You Know? So by Dr. Daniel Barth, and he's going to show his passion is showing educators how to teach astronomy in the classroom, but it's good stuff for everybody. Some just really cool images here, the Moon-Venus conjunction. But I'm just kind of racing through the magazine with you here a little bit.
That way they can't read it. They have to download it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So here we go. I will copy that link. I think I already did it, but here you go again. And there you are. So anyhow, Kent and I have to get ready. Kent's got to get ready for the Oklahoma Astronomical Society or Astronomy Club. And I've got to also get ready for the Astronomical League Live 4, which starts in about an hour and a half. Okay, starts at 6 p.m. Central. That is our co-host there is the good people from the executives from the Astronomical League. I think Terry Mann is leading this particular event. So it's their 4th event, and we're real proud to be hosting that for them. So anyhow, that's it. And Kent, we'll let you go. We'll let the audience go for now, and you guys keep looking up until an hour and a half from now, and then turn your eyes back to your screens. Take care, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Have a great night, everybody. Bye.
Good night.
Hello, everybody. This is Scott Roberts from Explore Scientific. And today I want to talk about the world famous Galileo telescope kit. This is a kit that you assemble by yourself. You'll learn how optics work by assembling the objective lens and also the eyepiece. And there's two different eyepieces that are in this, the 25 power, 20 millimeter eyepiece, but it also comes with this very clever little device here that works both as a Barlow lens that will double the magnification of this eyepiece, making it 50 power, or it can be used also as a Galilean eyepiece, which gives 17 power to the telescope. This is what Galileo virtually saw through his own telescope. So you can have that same experience that Galileo had looking at the moon, looking at Saturn's rings, looking at Jupiter. It is a telescope that was designed for the International Year of Astronomy in 2009. And it's a fantastic kit, both for child and adult, to learn how a telescope works. And so if you get the telescope like this, you can either have it on a stand like this, you can hand hold it like a pirate's glass, or on the bottom here, we have a threaded hole here that you can put it on a camera tripod. Very versatile, very rugged, and a lot of fun, all from Explore Scientific.
British Columbia is wants a crate. In order to put there's a crate. Like a crate, right? Sold to crate. So these are good pocket around.